Yo, what is good, my quick crypto family and coin factory family, back again with another daily Casper crypto live stream. And I apologize for the miscommunication in the public community server earlier. I anticipated I'd be going live an hour later, but things changed. I found some time and I was going to go live at the usual time, which is around here right now. And great to be back, although saying that the markets right now are looking a little bit worse for wear, and the reason why is because of tariffs and headlines once again. And it's understandable. I do right now believe we are going to see further corrections, and once more talking about Casper, provided we don't get too disastrous of a pullback. Although again, with so much uncertainty in the markets right now, anything is really possible, but provided we see not too much FUD, Casper could come back down to this golden pocket here, 9.2, still forming a higher low and see a reversal. Again, we'll get through all of that in a moment. But right now, the markets are looking a bit worse for wear based on the macro and headline news. But at the same time, Casper, they have some very, very big announcement and development on the horizon. We've had confirmation, actual verbal, like for confirmation now, as opposed to high speculation that this Casplex layer 2 is going to be coming out in the next 2 days. In May, and equally you have a new article from Forbes about Casper as well, which is very exciting stuff. We'll get into all of that in this stream and much more. So as always, if you enjoy the content, leave a like, share with your friends and subscribe for more. And also something I've just seen as well, which is very interesting. This is a new thing I think YouTube has just done. They've got a community leaderboard right here, as you can see. Now, I do pray that nobody decides to spam the chat, but it looks like the more message you put in, the higher XP you get. I don't know what reward you get for that, but I can see now who's the most active in the chat, and Crypto Goes to Mr. Miles right now are top. That's not an invitation to spam the chat, please do not do that, but I guess it's a nice little thing you're trying to do right now. Anyways, welcome back to the stream, everybody. Hope you're doing very, very well. Crypto Goes to first, my man. Welcome back. Mr. Miles second. Good to have you back as well, my man. And yes, having a great day so far, hopefully both of you too. Where is it saying here? You're not the real Gosu. That's what I mean. This new leaderboard thing is very, very weird. I don't really know. You get XP for messaging, apparently. I don't know what you actually get apart from that, but hey ho. I thought you were going to start an hour later. I was, because basically since I've come back from, away with my family, I've been having to do quite a lot of like managing and admin and whatnot, because I basically missed a whole week of work, which my employers and people that I work with, they were aware of this, but it's still like a whole week therefore catching up. So I've been very disorganized this week, trying to sort everything out, even like my finances, my wallet. So I went through a whole admin today, and I thought I'd be a little bit later, but I found the ability to stream at the usual time, which is good news for all of us, hopefully. Because for me, an hour later, while I can do it, it's a bit late for me. It's going towards 10 p.m, which is quite late for me. I normally have to do work after that anyways, so I don't be working going into 4 or 5 a.m. Welcome back, Kryptoni bro. You're doing very, very well, brother. What kind of inverse rug pull is this? No idea. On the check-in, welcome back, LB bro. You're doing very, very well, brother. Yeah, now switch from number 2 to number 1, because Mr. Moss is spamming the chat. There you go. Damn, can I get a crown? Well, I guess the people who message the most get a crown. So right now, it looks like now number 1 is Falco, and then it's Mr. Miles, and then it's LB. Although all you got the same XP, it's just put you in that order. I'm guessing. Actually, I have no idea why, but hey ho, everyone's got these crowns now. But yeah, welcome back, Falco bro. You're doing very, very well. Now everyone's gonna start spamming the chat. Please do not. I remember seeing a crown at LB2. He's a member. You had to buy a membership. Totally didn't give it to you though. What's up, DC man? You're doing very, very well. What is this colour stuff? I have no idea. Welcome back, bro. You're doing very, very well, my man. Yeah. Okay, well, with that being said, with the confusion in the chat and the whole, misunderstanding of why things are changing, I'm guessing again it's due to the amount you message. But hey ho. That being said, let's get into the content for today right here and now, understanding exactly why Casper's price is sucking balls. and why it's going down right now. So we know we've got some big things coming up for Caspa very, very soon, which is exciting. However, the macro once again is weighing in on the markets. The fundamentals, the headlines are taking control of the market right now. Bitcoin dominance still extremely high. So, you know, it's still quite high right now, which is, you know, expected. So therefore, everything's following Bitcoin in suit. Caspa right now is down 4.2%. I did scoop up some Caspa on this dip. And it's going to probably come a little bit lower as well. Again, it could come down to the 9.2 region. They're currently down 4.2% daily time frame, valued at 9.73 cents. And the reason why is due to the Fed, due to the courts, and due to Trump. So we can see here, Watch Your Guru posts, the US federal court is blocking Trump's Liberation Day tariffs from taking full effect. So to give a bit of a breakdown, basically, what's next after reciprocal tariffs were struck down by the courts? If the Court of International Trade's ruling on reciprocal tariffs is upheld, all the tariffs collected since April 2nd would need to be refunded. And based on the calculations from Kobe's here, which assumes 2024 levels of US imports, this would roughly be $10 billion of tariff revenue. This includes a 10% baseline tariff on all countries, as well as a higher rate imposed on select countries. The United States had to owe China alone and refund them roughly $3.5 billion, which is, you know, insane. And of course, this is the reason why we're seeing a massive correction right now, because again, it's uncertainty. It's mainly uncertainty right here. Trump's administration has already declared they're going to file an appeal to stop it from happening. But we looked at the trade war that went from combating against other countries is now becoming internal in America, with the courts trying to stop Trump now as well. So now it's a different stage of the trade war. Zero hedge highlights here, you know, it's already happening. Somehow going to be refunded, always going to be refunded. It will be glorious. Now, what this means, and again, Grok highlights here the AI software. Apparently, Trump exceeded his authority under the 1977 IEPA, trade deficit and emergency. And again, we'll have to see how this pans out and if Trump's appeal will come to fruition. But the problem is, once more, we have to understand that this is, again, it's uncertainty, it's FUD. Nobody knows how this is going to pan out. Right now, Trump's tariffs had come into effect. And since they come into effect, we have seen Bitcoin make a reversal. You know, since that April 2nd when they were implemented, we saw it come down, and we've seen Bitcoin come up 50% since. So tariffs, according to the market side of things, have not actually caused too much of an effect besides just headline and negative sentiment. But now we are seeing the Fed saying at the tariffs that the money that Trump's been collecting, yeah, you have to give it all back now. Which means, you know, the money that's been coming into the economy is going to immediately leave the economy as well, which is bearish. But equally, again, it's the fact that Trump's ideology and idea of tariffs is, again, being denied right now. So, of course, with that uncertainty in trades, you're going to see more of a desire to go into the safe havens, being gold, which you see why gold is up today right now as a result. You'll see stuff like bonds probably also rally a little bit as well. But on risk assets, equities and crypto, these sort of markets are going to come down quite drastically because there's too much uncertainty right now. So it's just a higher risk, and a risk probably not worth taking with, again, such a volatile and fragile market. Now, I would personally disagree. You know, the fact that we are over I say we, I'm not American, but the fact that the American economy was over $1 trillion worth of debt, I would argue that is an emergency. The trade deficit is an emergency. It's over $1 trillion worth of debt. It's quite insane. But according to the federal court, they believe it's not an emergency. Therefore, Trump has exceeded his authority by implementing tariffs as a way to combat that. We'll have to see how it pans out, see if Trump's appeal will go through. So for the most part now, we're going to see a bit more uncertainty. Again, the headline being the main driver right now, until we see some form of conclusion. It's headline drama, because we've got to understand again that since the tariffs have been implemented, crypto and Bitcoin has done exceptionally well. It's actually come up since tariffs have been implemented. So for the most part, tariffs aren't negative for these markets. Doesn't seem to be, at least. but the headlines do always cause pullbacks. On Friday, when Trump announced tariffs on EU, we saw a 5% pullback, 4% pullback. We saw on other data when Trump issued the tariffs on the 5th, we saw Bitcoin come down 7%. And obviously when they hit the bottom here, even during all the trade war against China that whole time, Bitcoin continuously made this leisurely stagnant but leg upwards. And now, of course, with the Fed, we're seeing them pull back. So again, you've got to understand this tariff news right now, while again, this could definitely cause some more short-term volatility and expect some more pullbacks in the short term. For the most part, as we can see, these have been headline dramas. 5th of April was the day he implemented tariffs, down that day. EU, down that day. And then the Fed blocking it right now, down this day. But otherwise, since all the tariffs have been implemented and, being implemented, we've seen it only go up. So for the most part, I'm still not particularly worried in the long term. And again, I'm supported by that, by this video that I'm going to play right now, with the former PayPal president telling CNBC multiple large US banks are about to adopt Bitcoin. It's a, 6-minute long video. I'm not going to play the whole 6 minutes, but listen to a snippet of it anyways. And again, giving us the idea of what is to come. So listen very closely.
When and if people are co-founder and CEO David Marcus. Marcus previously led payments at Meta, is also at PayPal, and has been going to this conference, I believe, since something like 2013.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so it was like 5 guys in a basement in 2013, and now it's this?
It was, maybe 100 people in San Jose who didn't know what they were doing, but they found Bitcoin interesting.
And how many people were talking about this time?
35,000, I think.
So,
yeah.
When you saw the vice president there, I mean, if I had asked you in 2013, the vice president shows up at something like this, did you ever think that was in the cards?
If you asked me a year ago whether that was going to happen, I would not believe you.
And so where does this go from here? We were just talking to a fellow from Merrill Lynch, talking about sort of, when and if these major firms are actually able to start pushing this stuff, not just sort of accepting it, if you will. How does that change it? Or do you think that's already built into the price?
No, I think there's so much room to go from here because Bitcoin is becoming mainstream. It's becoming really the true digital gold that we've all been talking about for a while, but now it's actually happening and people care.
But you've always talked about also trying to make it
Now, this whole interview, this clip of this interview has already been posted in my free public community server, courtesy of Coded. So if you want to hear the whole thing, go check it out. But again, just a small snippet there where the former PayPal president is highlighting that, back in 2013, there was such a small margin of people actually listening about Bitcoin. And even last year, if you tell them Bitcoin's going to be the next big thing, he would have laughed at you. But now it's going mainstream, and now the large US banks, they are about to adopt Bitcoin and crypto technology. So while we're seeing correction of the market with the FUD, with the tariffs, the headline news that is causing these headwinds and pullbacks, for me, again, it's just short-term noise. I still have no doubt in my mind we're going to see crypto go a lot higher. And again, if you think about in regards to the M2 money supply again, which we've been talking about more and more on this channel, it does suggest that seeing pullbacks right now is also expected, coming down to maybe 100 and 403k, before then seeing this push up following the M2 supply. So again, it's not out of the question seeing pullbacks. It's not anything to be worried about. Don't be emotional, be logical. We're going into June right now. We still have months left of the cycle, potentially longer. We really have no idea yet how long the cycle's going to go on for. We still have to wait for regulations that are being implemented sometime probably in August. So we've got another 2, 3, 4 months until we see those regulations implemented, and then we'll see steady but consistent, likely, institutional adoption flooding into Bitcoin, into crypto, setting this market a lot higher as well. Casper right now, according to TMC, it's got 66 million 24-hour trading volume, a bit lackluster once again, but is a bit up, 20% up on the daily. You can see again dominated by the likes of Gate, MEXC, 25 and 20%, BitGet at 9.73, Bybit 9%, LBank at 7.68, which LBank has, which I found out recently, LBank have suspended withdrawals and deposits on Casper right now due to the hard fork. So yeah, if you're buying Casper on LBank, you're basically stuck there. So maybe they'll change that in the future, but right now I used to use LBank. Of course, I use Kraken now. but I used to use L Bank because their cheap fees. I now will steer clear of L Bank because they don't support Kaspa, and it's unfortunate, really. But I'll get into more of the question. I'll get into more of the comments and stuff. I'll get into more of the posts about Kaspa and the big news in just a moment. But let's get into the question real quickly again. Once more, you can see here the price action of your chat is why. The price action of Kaspa is very sucky right now. Bitcoin's coming down a bit more aggressively as well. Buying opportunities for Kaspa, maybe the last one. Honestly, maybe it is. I doubt it will be. There'll be more and more pullbacks, but this could be, again, one potential final pullback before the major comeback. I'm sure the fuzz's getting louder and louder again, but I'm still not worried. I have no reason to be. My rigs earn more in mining Nice Hash and earning Bitcoin than mining Tari. Hey, we'd love to hear it, Crypto Ghost Man. I don't mine anything personally, but either way, if you're making gains, then brother, I'm happy for you. Keep it up, my man. Now people have started doing a little bit of spamming as a joke to try and get their number up on the community, which for me has just stopped at 75 XP for the max. So I actually don't know how much XP people have, but I still see the numbers here, so who knows. But yeah, welcome back, Andy, bro. Got 55 Kaspa today. Love to see that, brother. Keep stacking that bag. Kaspa indeed is number one. The court will be overturned by the Supreme Court. Again, it's a potential, while again it's being perceived by the federal court that, the trade deficits weren't an emergency. It was over $1 trillion, $1.2 trillion worth of trade deficit. I would argue that is quite a significant emergency. You're literally losing money. You're in so much debt. So I would argue that it is an emergency. So we'll have to see if Trump's appeal will go through and if the Supreme Court will also overturn that as well. Looks like you're going to need a sensible moderator to spam control on this new leaderboard. Yeah, sensible. It looks like I got a few in mind. Not sure about this guy here, though. There is a history of US presidents without using tariffs without their authority to do so, even being questioned. They'll absolutely be overturned. I'm not so much clued in on the history, if that is true or not. But if that is true, then I'm also surprised and unsurprised that they are trying to stop Trump's tariffs. Hopefully they'll overturn. If they're overturned, then, the FUD will dissipate. Because right now the FUD again is rallying because there's now the incentive, the investor sentiment, that we're going to start seeing all the revenue generated from tariffs be refunded. And that's going to be a disaster. Just because, again, it's going to bring so much more, again, just uncertainty in the markets. And that's what investors hate. This is unhealthy, and it is. Is your prediction of $2 still on without smart contracts? We're getting smart contracts, so sure. I'm in Kaspa since 2023 November. As you said, all 2024. I'm a max here, 85%. My average down below 12.5 and couldn't even break even. Yeah, honestly, brother, the fact that your average is at 12.5 is very good. We just see it momentarily go above that before coming back down again. Kaspa for me, again, is still in due time going to surpass that and go higher and even higher up than all-time highs as well. In terms of $2, I think it's only a $52 billion market cap. Is not for me too excessive. We are definitely getting smart contracts. Again, that's confirmed here. Chris Can confirmed. Yes, this month, May 2025, no parallel universe, we're going to see the layer 2 public testnet, and therefore highly likely we'll see the full mainnet launch of Casplex layer 2 smart contracts coming in June. And you'll see the native ones coming out later this year as well. So that's going to be a big thing to help Kaspa adoption as well, amongst other stuff I'll get into in this stream in a moment. Tony, have you seen the FUD about Tari being the next Kaspa? He's asking Tony that. I've not seen it though, but I've heard so many projects being spoken about being the next Kaspa, which, look at it this way, if you're being compared to something else, like if you're seeing so many projects saying we're the next Kaspa evidently must be some form of threat to people. If it was a complete nothing spam, rubbish coin, scam coin like people have been saying recently, then why are people saying this is the next Kaspa? It's actually worth comparing it to. And at the same time, nothing is the next Kaspa right now. It's too early. Our deficit is more than enough. Yeah, I agree. I do agree. This deficit right now is absolutely an emergency. So this should and likely, and I hope, be overturned. Just because it will dissipate the FUD again. The 2nd of April is Liberation Day, but the reciprocal tariffs were implemented on the 5th, if I'm not mistaken. You had tariffs that implemented on the 5th and the 9th, and Liberation Day was on the 2nd. So again, in that regard, then yes, there was tariffs implemented on the 2nd, and then you had more tariffs implemented on the 5th and the 9th. But the 5th is like the main day. I mean, again, if you look at this here, Bitcoin, you go back here, the 5th is when you saw the 5th or 6th where you saw the big correction. So it's 5th, this is when it happened. They're implemented on the 2nd here. You saw pullbacks. You saw more tariffs coming out on the 5th, 6th. It came out even heavier there. And then you start seeing the recovery and rally from there. Welcome back, Kaspa Keyman. You're doing very, very well, brother. This pullback right now is pretty gnarly. Yeah, the investor sentiment is crazy right now. The headwinds from the headlines is just crazy. But again, it's, for me, short-term noise. We'll see it recover in the coming weeks, I'm sure, again, in conjunction with the M2 supply. Tomorrow's also going to be very important with the PCE data. Hopefully that'll come back reassuring to dissipate this headline FUD right now. What's up, caller, bro? Just lurking, watching Bitcoin conference, like tax paid. Sup, Kas Kaspa. What's up, bro? Hope you're doing very well. I'm glad to have you tuned back in, my man. You too, Greg. Sup, QC. Hope you're doing very, very well. This is the 15th last chance to buy Kaspa at these low levels this year. Honestly, it does feel like it does really feel like that. That's fair, and I did. I mean, what is that referring to? Going all the way back up now. No idea. How much XP awarded? I don't know, because the community thing that I can see, and maybe it's because the thing's a bit dodgy here. I don't know, but the community thing that I can see, you get 25 XP per comment. And maybe it's just an early thing, I don't know, because right now it's stuck with Miles, Joking, LB, and Gosu at 75 XP, despite you've put a load more than 3 messages in here. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on. But again, maybe they're just trying to figure out this new kink thing. Again, by all means, I enjoy you guys' comment. Don't spam the chat, please, because I try to answer questions at the same time as well, and I don't want to make it too overbearing. What's up, DD bro? You're doing very, very well. The Stoch R site is at the bottom, and I think the next 2 to 3 days it will start again. But I don't forget that often 10 days before FOMC, Kaspa's selling pressure is there. I mean, yeah, we've got, Kaspa sees some, if the market and, investor sentiment is going to be a lackluster, bearish FOMC meeting, you'll see pullbacks. So it's not surprising we'll see pullbacks around them. So we might not see, therefore, crypto properly take off till mid-June now. We'll have to wait and see, obviously. But again, I'm not too worried. I'm taking this opportunity to scoop more Kaspa. That's why I got a bit more today, because I thought it's a great opportunity right now to lower my average a little bit more while I still can. It's the Bitcoin conference curse. I mean, honestly, yeah, maybe the Bitcoin conference also has a part to play in this as well. Oh, funds buying Kaspa on the dips. Oh, I hear you, yeah. I think right now buying Kaspa in these dips, me personally, not financial advice, I did because I thought it was a great decision to do so right now. Definitely, we confidently lost the support here, which sucks, but we'll see it come down, find support again, rebound again. Who thinks that interest rates will be lowered on June 18th? Not me. Yeah, I don't think it will be. I think there's too much uncertainty right now, and evidently the Fed, right now Trump wants lower interest rate, and the Fed don't want Trump to have his way, evidently. So I would be very surprised if we see rate cuts at all in June and even in July. If we see some massive turnaround, I don't think we'll have it anytime soon. What's up, Michael, bro? It's funny how every day there's good, big, bullish news, but Kaspa keeps dumping and dumping and dumping. Well, I wouldn't say the news today is necessarily bullish for Kaspa. I just said the title of the stream is Fed blocks Trump's tariffs plus Forbes post about Kaspa. Now, the Forbes post is quite good, although it's recognition, but it's not really a price mover for me. And there are other stuff to talk about as well regarding Kaspa, which is good, but I wouldn't say it's anything necessarily like bullish. It's just kind of good, informative information for what's coming. But again, you've got to understand that we're in a market that is very much headline driven and followed by Bitcoin. So what Bitcoin does, the markets will follow. And this here is dominating the markets. Right, that is good news as well. That's bullish, but that has no effect on the markets right now, because all the investors care about is the fact that we may see the tariffs be completely reversed. Completely reversed would be very terrible. The day beforehand was bullish news. Cashback confirming the layer 2 public testnet coming out this month, which again have been double confirmed here from Chris Kang coming out. Therefore, in the next 2 days, it being 29th of May right now, we've got until Saturday, so 2 days we'll see the public testnet coming out. That's good news, but again, we're still waiting for the actual implementation of smart contracts and the market to reverse properly. It's still going to take a bit of time. But that being said, let's get into more of the news right now. So again, I've already covered this post here. Confirmation, we're going to see the Layer 2 public testnet coming out in the next 2 days, which is good news. And again, maybe we'll see the price reverse as a result, but don't get your hopes up again. Remember the KRC20 when that first came out in September? We saw a massive pullback because it was unsuccessful. Was it? No, it wasn't. It came out in like. Did it come out in September? When did it come out? It came out in. I'm trying to remember when the first public testnet for Kaspa came out. You saw the full release in September, I believe. And then you saw the testnet come out, and there were failures, and that caused a lot of FUD. The point being is, it's still a test, right? It's a testnet, so you're gonna likely see bugs, likely see issues. So just don't be emotional about it. It's still a good sign of what is about to come out on Kaspa. Hopefully, being very fleshed out with this testnet coming out in the next 2 days. Very, very cool. And we are seeing again more good milestones. Again, it's kind of just news, nothing that's going to pump the markets for Kaspa, but good news either way. Another milestone here, thanks to BitGet, who do, of course, offer spot traded Kaspa. They've partnered with CoinPal.io, so again, we're seeing BitGet more involved with Kaspa, basically, because CoinPal are very deeply ingrained with Kaspa. And there's also been confirmation from Oyster Lee that CoinPal will be running on Kaspa Rails as well, which is huge. Bringing to 6,000 plus global merchants to BitGet wallet via our merchant PayDFI.com. So the user can now buy game accounts, skins, and more from the stores like IG Vault and pay with crypto. All that sort of very, very good, and could ultimately lead to more adoption to Kaspa and integration with Kaspa again in due time, which is cool. We got one of the headlines for today's stream, which is Kaspa has made it to Forbes, which is really cool. This Forbes article was written by a fund manager with 1.2 billion plus assets under management here. Tama Niv, which is really, really big news. You can see here. Now, I think, again, this is good to see. For me, I would argue, in full transparency, this is kind of a nothing burger. It's good, of course. I don't want to just, downplay it. It's Forbes. But it's not a price mover. It's getting more adoption, but it's nothing, for me, it's not, oh my God, right? I'm not jumping for joy for this. And also because of the title for me, we'll get into this article now. The title for me, I'm a little bit nitpicky about. Kaspa, the Israeli answer to scaling Bitcoin. Now, my issue with that title, while it is not factually incorrect, it also depicts Kaspa as an Israeli coin, which is not. The founder is from Israel. So, it's not incorrect, but Kaspa decentralized. So again, maybe I'm just being nitpicky here, and I probably am, but I think there are better titles to choose than the Israeli answer to Bitcoin, because it makes Kaspa seem like an Israeli coin, which that could drive negative sentiment. And if it's coming from Forbes as well, you want it to, be as transparent and, bullish as possible. Again, it won't do necessarily anything big, but that could, again, drive a misinterpretation of what Kaspa is. That's just my 2 cents. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and I'll get to that in a moment. But if you go through the article here, again, from Forbes, it's good, but it's nothing, to, lose sleep over, effectively. Talks about the ever-evolving landscape of crypto, a relatively quiet contender is making waves by rewriting the rules of proof-of-work blockchains, being Kaspa, a project born from Israeli academic researchers, which is also, it's true. Tom Polinsky, Shai, Aviv Zohar, it is true, but again, it's just, I think the depiction of how he's written this is not what I personally agree with, how he's depicted that at least. But again, moving on, we can see, as of May 2025, Kaspa is around 10 cents, giving the network a market cap of near 2.7 billion, a top 50 in crypto that sprang from the university into an idea-growing ecosystem. University of Harvard, or Hebrew University, apologies. Tom Polinsky went to Harvard. So, of course, talk about here breaking Bitcoin speed limit with Kaspa here. All the sort of stuff that we already know about, or we should already know about. Of course, I will link the information down below or in my community as well. Talking about how, Nakamoto's design enforces a 10-minute block time, but it's just very, very slow. Then talks about Litecoin improved it to 2.5-minute block time. You see Bitcoin Cash took the big block route, increasing capacity by allowing up to 32 MB per block. This boosts potential throughput, but it raises centralization concerns as larger blocks demand more bandwidth and storage. And then Monero focuses on privacy and adaptability with a 2-minute block time and dynamic block size. A CPU-friendly randomized algorithm promotes miner centralization through it's not built for though it's not built for ITPS. Instead, it scales by remaining resilient under real-world constraints. And they got lastly to adjust Bitcoin scalability without altering its base layer. Developers introduced the Lightning Network. So it's a very brief summary of Bitcoin's founding, the developments and so-called fixes to Bitcoin scalability issue with Litecoin, with Bitcoin Cash, with Monero, which all have their benefits. They're all faster, but are A, more centralized, and B, is not the perfect solution. And then Lightning Network equally, a layer 2 solution to off-chain payments. Again, it's still not efficient enough, while powerful in theory, Lightning faces challenges in liquidity management, user experience, and routing reliability. So it's not good enough. And then you, of course, have Kaspa with GhostDAG, talking about how it has a fundamentally different route to what everything else I tried to do here. Instead of insisting on one block at a time and offering any competing blocks, GhostDAG allows multiple blocks to coexist and orders them in consensus. So a completely different approach, which is very good to see. And of course, why Kaspa is, so innovative. The most innovative project in the space, without question. Crucially, Kaspa remains pure proof-of-work system, meaning it retains its battle-tested security model of Bitcoin. Kaspa Consensus uses a custom hashing algorithm, which is K-heavy hash, and was launched with no pre-mine, no ICO, no central governance, much like Bitcoin's fair launch ethos. Every Kaspa coin has been mined into circulation by the community, which has cultivated a fiercely loyal base of miners and supporters like we are here watching right now. Goes into more detail here about Crescendo, the sub-second blocks. All sorts of very, very cool to see as well. A throughput higher than even what Bitcoin or even Ethereum could have ever sustained. So something that Bitcoin and Ethereum could never ever do. Kaspa here. And then Litecoin, of course, equally not good enough than Kaspa. Talk about community-driven growth here and miner adoption. All sorts of stuff here that we know. Talk about Marathon as well. So it's a very kind of generic summarized article here about Kaspa, kind of a brief history about it. Its development raises a key question in blockchain research. Can proof of work scale without compromising decentralization or security? Which Kaspa can. The attempts to approve it have failed, but Kaspa alternative is actually working. GhostDAG, of course, being big. The key point here is, however, this approach introduces new challenges. Sub-second block intervals demand tighter synchronization across the network and a protocol behavior under sustained high load. Conditions remains largely untested. Additionally, the long-term effects of miner distribution and node participation are not clear, particularly as the system scales. Kaspa offers a useful case study in protocol design, one that may inform future research on scaling secure decentralized networks. So the TLDR of this article is I disagree pretty much just with the title. That's all it is. Because I just don't like the idea that it's going to depict Kaspa as an Israeli coin, because it's not. It's just not. All I disagree with the article here, otherwise then it's a very generic and nice summary from an asset manager, $1.2 billion, so quite a big asset manager, which is quite good. Talking about, the history of Bitcoin, projects that come to try and compete and fix Bitcoin shortcomings, and then Kaspa being a completely different alternative that is, trying to do it itself. And of course, there's still a lot that seems to be untested, which again, smart contract elements, it's going to prove, hopefully, the stuff to be, the tested parts to be tested and then come to fruition. And the fact of the matter also being as well, which is very important, is Kaspa as a project will also most definitely offer useful case studies for other projects in the future. Don't get me wrong, Kaspa's going to do very, very well. So I'm not worried about Kaspa as an individual, but Kaspa being the actual block DAG and working efficiently, proof of work, fair launch, actually decentralized, you might see in the future when more cryptos are developed, because there will be more coming out in the future, I'm sure, they'll be all based off Kaspa's model and then all start trading on top of the Kaspa layer 1 sequencer, because it's just, again, secure, quick, and also scalable. So I think, yeah, the article's all good. I think we have seen an article from Forbes in the past, but not one like this. And again, $1.2 billion asset manager. under management fund manager here. So again, I think it's cool to see this. Again, more recognition and more recognition of what Kaspa is. I would argue almost a decent summary. Again, mine is just a depiction of this Rayleigh coin. But again, I think it's interesting to know, and of course you'll see more of those sort of articles and documents and stuff coming out in the future when Kaspa scales more and more, and demands more wandering eyes towards the project, which again is an inevitability for me will happen in due time as the project grows more and more matures, and especially with smart contracts coming out, you might see it rally up faster as well. When Kaspa dumps, it's because Bitcoin is dumping, but when Bitcoin do 40%, Kaspa do none. Okay, bro. Well, again, this is then a very relative mindset, brother, because Bitcoin has done 40%, 50% from here. Kaspa has done a 2x in a similar time frame. So actually it's done very, very well. But there was a time beforehand when Bitcoin did this rally here where Kaspa didn't move. Really? So you're taking it from here, September 24 to February 25, you saw a 2x in Bitcoin. Similar time frame for Kaspa, September 24, you're looking at it here, and Kaspa come down since that time frame. So yeah, again, it's relative to how you look at it. Because in the time frame that Bitcoin rallied since Liberation Day, Kaspa did a 2x. Bitcoin did 50%, Kaspa did 2x. So actually Kaspa did fine. Right now, though, we're in a Bitcoin dominant market and everything is dumping in correlation to it. So, again, I don't know. I don't really have much more to say on that regard because it depends on what parameters you choose. If you're looking at it from a very, very large perspective, then you could argue Kaspa's only done, since November 23, it's only done a 50% gain. Whereas comparatively to Bitcoin, November 23, you're looking at it down here. So Bitcoin's done insane since then. But that's just, again, it's relative. Depending on the time frame you pick, you can get whatever answer you want. But Kaspa, since April, which has been when we've been, more bullish on Kaspa right now, of course, since it made this double bottom down here, it's been making this rally upwards, it has performed very well. And in fact, we can check it out. April, Kaspa actually since April had outperformed Bitcoin. While not by a large margin, only 30%, it had outperformed Bitcoin. So it has done well. If there was ever a clickbait title, it was that Forbes article. I mean, true. Very, very true. And I'm sure you'll see many, many YouTubers who will make a video about Forbes made a post on Kaspa. I was thinking about doing it myself, but when I read through the article, kind of like, it's just not really anything I need to make a video on. Like, definitely, I don't get me wrong, I could definitely get views from that, but for me, the Forbes article, while it is, again, I don't want to completely downplay it, but for me, it's not, something to lose sleep over. That's the way I can put it down. I don't think it's something to lose sleep over. It's cool. I disagree again with the title, but it's cool. But again, it's more recognition of Kaspa. That's how I'll put it down. And you'll see more of that coming out in the future, I'm sure, as well. But it's not going to pump the price of Kaspa. As it's not right now, because again, even if we didn't see this headline tariff stuff right now, I don't think that pump the price of Kaspa. Forbes article is not something going to pump the price of a crypto project. It's not going to do that. So, but you'll see videos about it. When talk about it in the stream right now, I think talk about it in the stream is okay because I can just kind of talk about it in a kind of general conversation to all of you here. But making an actual structured video around it, there have been Forbes articles in the past that I think I have done it on. This one I just thought I just don't think it's worth it. I'm better off making a video covering this coming out in the next 2 days as opposed to the Forbes article. Or equally, stuff like this as well. So we got here from IMMV, who works for the KRI. I love when someone gets my brain braining like this guy here, Thomas Studink. I definitely butchered that. I apologize. But he's speaking here at the Ethereum Prague event. Blackout protocol. What happens when the lights go out, or what impact a blackout would have on the crypto and AI, and how we might use this as an opportunity to innovate. Now, that kind of passage alone, I'm thinking Dagonite straight away. For me, Dagonite has been showcased and proven. I say proven. Theory has been proven it that it is internet chaos resistant. So if there's a blackout, Kaspa, the network could be a blackout, but the Dagonite wouldn't be affected by it. So Kaspa would actually be protected from that. So I'm intrigued to see what was stated here. Maybe we'll hear about it in the future. But again, I highlight that because I think it's very, very cool. And of course, KRI, representing KRI and Kaspa, Envy here is also in attendance at this event. And equally, speaking about the KRI, which, again, also a nothing bug besides maybe just raising speculation here. Crypto.com made a post saying there will be signs with a satellite and green there. And the KRI posted no comment, which of course, think about it, KRI are meant to be launching a Kaspa node in space. So it sounds almost too good to be true, right? We do know, again, Crypto.com did make a landing page, a how to buy Kaspa page on their website, which they have now since removed. Reasons unbeknownst to us. But for me, again, it's inevitable that Crypto.com will list Kaspa later on the cycle. Just my personal speculation and belief. But that is also quite... What else could this mean to me? I like, you can see a massive green candle, all this sort of stuff, a green tornado. You could depict that to be anything. What in crypto could this resemble a green satellite besides a Kaspa node in space that's coming out in 26? I have no idea. So yeah, maybe there will be something. Maybe the Kaspa will be on Crypto.com sooner than we think. Again, we'll have to wait and see. That is pure speculation. Don't take that as fact. Don't be emotional. Be logical. But again, things for me, again, Kaspa, negative right now. I'm still not worried about what's coming. We're seeing more developments happening all over the place right now. Castle Wallet says big cheers to Kaspa POS team for making it happen. They are the first centralized POS that's not proof of stake. That is a proof of point of scale. No, sorry, not proof of stake, point of sale. The first decentralized point of sale system on Kaspa is now live, and Castle is fully integrated with them as well. So you can accept Kaspa with ease, which is very cool to see. So that is good stuff. I think Kaspa is, seemingly got a lot of, notable accounts following them. I choose now to trust Kaspa Commons because Kaspa Commons is the person who originally ran the Kaspa Currency Twitter page since the whole decentralized issue that was raised by the teams or people inside of it, I guess. So he's following them, which is very good to see for me. Omnicast also following their part of the KDAO, their KDAO project. Of course, people that I respect here as well, following them, which is good to see as well. But I look for the ones who are actually I have complete conviction and faith in because they're in the really, really deep inner circles. So like Wolfie, I think is a good one. Kaspa Silver's in a deep one, so I think that's decent as well. I think Christian Lubbock's a big one there for me. Chad, I mean, he is the guy who's running the page actually. So I mean, again, for me, it's a good thing to see that Kaspa is seemingly trusted by a lot of members in the community there as well. And actually, I was speaking of Kaspa Commons, wanted to quickly address this because I've been seeing it in my community earlier, and I do agree, and I also just want to raise it as well. I was asked by a member, do you think it's ridiculous that Kaspa Currency has not paid a single post in Crescendo? And I do think it's ridiculous. While I understand there's a lot of issues right now with the whole ways to manage it, just doing nothing, I think arguably is worse. I don't know why they just couldn't follow in Bitcoin's Twitter page steps. Just do it like that. You don't have to make it such a big issue about decentralization or not. And Shai has a point here as well, saying, can you please stop asking me about this Twitter page? Because I'm disappointed as you are. But I'm being kept in the dark like you are as well because I stood up for I made my points known and they were not happy with my views. So you've been kept in the dark as well. If you have any questions or complaint, ask Fish Tuna, LD1, or other so-called committee members who are effectively ones in charge of this. Although again, it's very hard to find the right words because again, not really anybody's in charge. It shouldn't be that way. But yeah, Shai says, which I think we all can attest to here, we do disagree with the approach and decisions that they've done so far to the point where they're not even posting on the page right now. But Shai just doesn't want to be asked about it because again, it's not his burden to bear and he has no idea about it himself, so he can't give an answer. It goes on a back and forth. For me, hopefully they figure it out in the future because again, they are the kind of the landing page for Kaspa effectively. They are meant to be decentralized, but the landing page, it is in the best interest for getting more awareness of Kaspa that they are still staying consistent and posting. at least about the major milestones, like the fact that smart contracts are about to be coming out. You know, Casplex, at least retweet what Casplex posted. That's all you could do. Like, for me, I think Casper, in the nature of being decentralized, here's an idea. Why don't, as Captain Silver highlights here, Casper's marketing is up to all of us, not one single location. I agree with that. So how about Casper is purely, you know, I guess run by certain insider members, if you will, but their whole thing is just reposting what other community members do. So of course, then as you've got people like Casper Silver or myself or the KRI or Casplex or whoever it is who is in the community making a post that is factually incorrect and resonates with what Casper's doing, all they do is repost it. And that'll also bring more, you know, recognition to the Casper community as a whole as well. I think that's not actually a bad idea if their whole thing was just based on reposting what community members post. Of course, if you've got a load of, you know, bull posting here and there, they won't necessarily repost that. But, you know, you see posts like, again, this. Casper's about to release their public, repost that. That's repost worthy. Don't have to make a comment about it, just repost it. Remain neutral. I think that's not a bad idea, actually. I mean, we'll see what happens in the future about it, but it is quite frustrating. But again, for me, it's frustrating, but it's, again, I agree with Silver here. Ultimately, we are Casper, not Casper currency. So hopefully they figure out what they're doing in the future. I think mine is not a bad one, actually. Thought about it on the spot right now. But it's up to us to put the word of Casper, not up to just Casper currency. What's up, Lisa? Market manipulation and price suppression in Casper, possibly suggesting that large players are accumulating supply to control the market. Possibly. Very possibly, although, again, market's correcting because of Bitcoin right now. So the big players are probably controlling the markets. But, yeah, I mean, it's expected. Also, we had that whole thing recently with Change Finance, who have been dumping the hackers or scammers, whatever. They took over 300 million Casper and dumped it on Mexi Exchange. So that's also probably the reason why we've been seeing such a big pullback since. A wall pointer saying last chance become irrelevant. Last chance for over 2 years. I mean, I have tried to refrain from putting last chance in my titles and streams anymore because, again, that term is very niche now. So I try not to say it too much. But if people want to say it's a last chance, they're welcome to say that. I do think Casper is, again, due for that reversal with smart contracts about to be coming out and the M2 about to be going up and everything else as well. And regulators about to be coming through as well. We've got some big stuff coming out tomorrow. It'll be a big day as well, maybe. Well, hopefully. We'll have to see. I'm hopeful it is, because I don't think a bit comes down to 100k. That could be, you know, Casper therefore coming down, probably breaking back down towards 8 cents maybe, give or take. Who knows? But yeah, I try not to say a last chance too much anymore, truth be told. Litecoin, trash. Bitcoin, cash, trash. I agree. Completely agree. And that's why Casper's the best alternative. The only alternative, actually. One thing is for sure, we are almost out of time on Casper this bull run. I disagree. No pump on hard fork was never going to happen on the hard fork. I mentioned that months in advance. No tier 1 listings and no marketing. No tier 1 listings, true, but again, as I made a video on this 2 days ago, that there are listings that are imminent. OKX and Binance have already integrated Casper, and Johnny confirmed their market makers for Casper are about to be getting regulated listings as well. So listings are going to be coming through. For me, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. But it will happen this cycle for me. No marketing, I do agree on that front. But again, we are the marketing element of Casper, a community. And then no pump on the hard fork again going back. I did state months in advance, even when it was first announced, that we will not see a pump on the hard fork date. Hard fork is not a price pumper. Never has, never will be. It's a massive upgrade. But all it is increasing Casper speed and scalability. I mean, it's going to be wrong. It's game changing. I'm not trying to downplay that either, but it was never going to be a price pumper. Casper still needs use case adoption. That's stuff that comes through not with 10BS hard fork, but with smart contracts. And I'm not even saying therefore again that smart contracts are going to pump the price of Casper either. These things take time. No VC backing. They're not going to pump Casper to 200x in value overnight. Don't be emotional. Be logical. Understand how these markets work. What these developments do for a project. They're not price pumpers. They're foundation building blocks to bring more liquidity and volume in to then gradually pump the price. I do disagree personally that Casper is almost out of time. I think Casper's still got enough time in the cycle. More than enough time. 30 cents best use case, who knows? Again, I don't talk about price anymore on this channel. 30 cents, who knows? I would argue it goes higher, but again, where I'm not depicting where I think it's going to go, but I would argue it can go higher. I think we've got enough to Caspa most definitely. We still don't know when the market's going to be. We haven't got regulations in crypto yet. That's going to still be a few months out. So we are still, in that regard, by no means anywhere near the top just yet. Even according to the M2 money supply. You know, we're meant to be seeing Bitcoin reaching roughly 130, 140k. We're at 105k Bitcoin right now. You're going to see a 5 trillion Bitcoin market cap at least, if not 6. Caspa is going to go up when alt season goes up as well. What's up, Curiosity, bro? Do you think we can still reach $2 this bull run? I don't see why we couldn't. I'm not saying it's going to happen, not financial advice. I don't talk about price, but I'm just depicting it from this way. Think about Bitcoin. If it does reach, if we do see a 6 trillion market cap in crypto, 6 trillion market cap in crypto, right? Bitcoin takes up about 58%, 50, 60% of it. So you're thinking Bitcoin therefore reaching about a 3.5, 3.6, 4 trillion market cap, right? Let's just say 3.5 trillion market cap, right? Or 3 trillion market cap. How much of that market cap can Caspa get of Bitcoins? 1%? There should only be 30 billion, and 30 billion is still above $1. Could it get higher than that? When alt properly rallies off, and Caspa gets more adoption? With KRI also being more involved in listing the enterprise project with Caspa as well. With Tim is also going to help pump the price as well when they come through. I think that Caspa can still do very well the cycle. I'm not really worried about it. And we saw $2 to be a 20x from here. It's not a bad multiplier by any means. Even a $1 is still a 10x. That's still very good. Most of these projects right now, if you get into them, they're not doing 10x's. I don't think Sui does a 10x from here. No way. Despite the VC insider pumping the project, I don't think they can get 10x from here. Say might do. Maybe $2. I'm not entirely sure. It did reach up here, so maybe it can do. Who knows? What's up, D with me, bro? You're doing very, very well, brother. 10x more than expected for the normie publication like Forbes. This is great. Oh yeah, I mean, again, the Forbes article is good recognition of Caspa, so it's great, and you'll see more stuff coming out. But you have to wait and see again. I try not to talk too heavily on price for Caspa because I don't want that to be all that everybody focuses on. Of course, we're investors, we want to make money, so we do focus on it. But I try to bring the news about Caspa and spread the awareness of Caspa and what we're holding for the future, as opposed to just making quick gains. And also then highlighting that I understand the FUD and frustration with Caspa, but I still think I do better than expected. So Paul Bro, swapped 10k worth of Caspa for Zebic network, 3x move, not too late to actually see gains if you swap some out as well. Caspa was 9 cents and 1 November. Of course, for your sake, Paul, not financial advice. You gotta say that. You can't be telling people move your Caspa out to something else. I'm not telling people to move your Caspa anywhere. I'm not telling you to buy Caspa either. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm simply giving you information. Zebic network, 3x move since you swapped. Fantastic. I'm happy for you, brother. Keep banking that bag. Great stuff. You can sell your Caspa. You can do what you want. I have no qualms what you do with your Caspa. Or any crypto for that matter. If you're making gains, then big up for you. I just highlight that I think Caspa's a great project and I think it'll do very well the cycle. That's all I do. And I give you the reasons why based on news and sources and stuff like that, and explain why the markets are currently doing badly as well. Caspa's struggled since November, technically speaking, from a wide perspective, but in the actual real-time perspective, it's since August, since here. And even then, every project right now is down since all-time highs. Caspa right now is down 55% or so. So he's not down as much now. So he's down about 40%, 35%. Tau is down about 46%. Say, a lot more. Ethereum still down about, what, 45% from all-time highs? 35%? And then, no, that's not from recent highs. All-time highs, still down about 46%. So again, Caspa is not in a too dissimilar boat to every other project right now in terms of where they are from all-time highs. So again, it's perspective. But if you make gains on Zebic, then big up to you, brother. For the past 20, I see Kryptoni's post here about that as well. And ultimately I agree. I don't need to go into that, but I do agree. It's a matter of perspective at the end of the day. Perspective. For the past 20 months, Caspa is about to surge above 20 cents. Caspa is about to be listed onto HC1s, and I just want to buy certain days of this in a row on YouTube. Depends where you're going to. You know, I've definitely been, guilty of doing that at times based on my beliefs and based on sources that suggested as such. It's not come to fruition. It's frustrating. Of course it's frustrating. But again, I have no qualms if you want to get out of Casper. I really, with respect to all of you, I don't care what you guys do with your money. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't care. You do what you want. I talk about Casper. I talk about crypto. In the nicest way possible, because I don't want to sound like I'm being a dick. I probably am being a big dick, but I don't mind. I don't care. I'm here to spread news and awareness about Casper. And if you don't believe in it because it's done very bad price action wise, that's fine. But my thought process is, I've held Casper for all this time, and it's been frustrating, sure. But I know what they're bringing out. I know how good the project is, and I know what's coming out very imminently. Now, so more than ever, smart contracts are literally going to be days away for the testnet, and then a few weeks from the mainnet. You're going to see tier 1 slightly follow very soon when the market rallies. Again, we heard news from the insider Casper members that people like Binance should have listed Casper. They should, and they were going to, and they didn't. So I don't know what changed in their strategies, but they decided to change last minute. So, it is what it is. And some YouTubers are going to be very, very guilty of clickbait. I've done it in the past. Hold my hands up. I don't do it often, if anymore, because I don't want to be trying to sell hopium. I spread FOMO, I spread news, and I spread my beliefs. But I don't want to spread, false hope. That's why when everyone asks me, Casper's done for the cycle, I'm still thinking, how are you saying that? Again, you're saying Casper's done nothing right now. Look at other projects in the cycle. They've done very similar things. Look at Solana. Look at Cardano. Look at AVAX. All these other projects. I'm going to just lose AVAX and Solana, for example. AVAX and Solana didn't move until August. We are currently in June. We are in June, people. Look, August here. It then moved from 10 billion to 80. Solana. AVAX. Again, similarly, August. Went from 2.5 to 30. That's in August. We are in June. Of course, not the same market. Of course, not the same cycle. Keep that in mind again. So we don't know when the top's going to be. But there's nothing confirming to us right now the top is in 2 months or 3 months. We have no confirmation of the top yet. The one thing we do know is regulations are going to be coming out seemingly around August, and that won't necessarily be the market top. When you see the regulations coming out, you'll see then banks and institutions start buying in bulk, probably getting into crypto with the time they have left of the cycle. I still think we're probably liable to see a Q4 top, if I'm being transparent. But again, I have no confirmation of that. It's just my beliefs based on the research that I've looked into. Which again, you can find that information down in my community, equally the VIP group as well. The VIP group's got a lot more in-depth information there from research documents from institutions that give us a better understanding of where the market's going and what they're looking at. So I'm not worried about where the cycle's going, and I think Cap's got more than enough time to catch the cycle. And again, you see how quickly projects can pump in a short time from the alt. When the alt season starts, how quickly these projects can pump 15x in AVAX. AVAX. Is AVAX better than Casper? Is Solana better than Casper? I mean, there are arguments for and against, I guess, but these are 3 months. It didn't pump for ages and pumped in 3 months to all-time highs. Casper had a very early pump, of course, but why is Casper going to do nothing in the cycle? Because it had a very lackluster year. I don't get the logic behind that necessarily. Because all the reasons why people are saying it's going to do badly could very well be proven wrong. If it gets to 1 listings, so what are you going to say about that then? And again, definitely on a bit of a tangent then, I really do not care what you do with your Casper. Do as you will. If you're going to go other projects to make gains, go for it. More the power to you. I want you to make money. I do. I want you all to be very, very wealthy. I just believe I could do it in Casper. That's why I continue to hold it for the future as well and the cycle. What's up, Magnus, bro? You're doing very, very well, brother. Welcome back to the stream. Because of Chris gone missing. Yeah, I have seen that as well. Because of Chris has been MIA for a while. I don't think it's actually gone MIA, but I reckon because he's got I think a relatively big community. I may be wrong. I've not checked that out, but I know he's got his own VIP group like I do myself, and he's probably just living off that. Talking to his community there, and not doing, and therefore he doesn't have to do YouTube. For me, even when hopefully if and when my VIP Excel people want to join that as well, I'll still be here on YouTube. And therefore, when we do this YouTube daily live streams, those who are also in the VIP can gain even extra insight because they're gaining the insight I'm putting from here and then pairing that with the alpha information I'm putting in there as well, alongside trades and everything else. And actually, speaking of that, as I've mentioned before, as you can see in the bottom left right now, I am working alongside BYDFI, partner with them, and I have an affiliate link down below in the description. Those who were to join, or those who are to join, I have a sign up page now in the community. If I load that up, it's hard to see with the watermark there. Clearly move that there. So yeah, the sign up thing there. So if you were to join through my link, which you click right here and go to my sign up page there, and you follow these steps here, and then you enter your BYDFI UID there, you get access to a BYDFI VIP area, which you can't see, but it's right here. And that, you know, and that's basically, you know, BYDFI basically actively giving you like swing trade signals, market analysis, updates about what's happening on the platform, and so much more there. So you got the VIP group that I have, which gives you, you know, the insight that I have, and our community has with trade alerts, with alpha information, research documents, weekly live streams as well, educational videos as well, like how to train this stuff set up as well, like risk management and whatnot, which we're going to be doing very soon as well. So you get benefits from that as well. We're looking at more stuff there as well. And equally, yeah, BYDFI, where you can actively trade crypto on it as well if you choose to. Again, do your own research, trade discretion. They have up to 200x leverage on Bitcoin and 125x leverage on altcoins. They do allow trading of Casper on there and buying of Casper, of course, but there is no you can't buy Casper on BYDFI and then send it to your Casper wallet, unfortunately, but you can still trade Casper on there if you choose to, and then take it out to USDT and trade it. Again, it's completely up to you guys if you want to trade Casper or not. Again, it's completely up to you. But if you want to find out more about the stuff, again, links down below, VIP group, and equally the affiliate link down below in the description. You can also join that here on the homepage here as well. Because Chris drives me nuts, and it's just called a total waste. Okay, well, I have no news to bias about his Discord and stuff like that, or his. I used to like look at his videos because, you know, he was very clued into the information. But then at that point, what for me is, you know, I tend to look at content creators, you know, to help devise my research as well. But then once I understand where they get the research from, I just, you know, don't need to go back to them very often. You know, there's some people I always go to. I always look at Kappa Silver, Plan K, Blockchain Banter. Those people, like, always go and watch their stuff. Casper Cat Daddy, I think his name is. Like, always go to those people because they always got some very nice insight, and the information they have there, stuff that I probably won't know half the time because they're picking to the insiders. But a lot of other stuff I don't tend to look at because it's probably stuff that I already know myself, and I know where to find the information. That's, again, one thing that I do take pride in. I know where to find information. I take pride in that. So there's alpha information here from research and intellectual documents and stuff that I've managed to find myself based on my experience. And the mistakes I made in the last cycle, I fixed, which was the research element. I fixed it, and I've provided that here. I do it in the free community as well, but a lot more in-depth here. And you can join for 7 days free as well. So you can join for free for a week. If you think it's up to you, if you think you like what you see, then by all means come sign up. We are obviously right now we haven't put any trades in the market for the last few days because of this uncertainty right now, but we've made some very big gains, and we're going to be putting some more trades in probably next week when the markets have found some stability. I don't mean you actually put a lot of effort into your streams. I know you don't mean me, Paul. Thank you very much, brother. I really do appreciate you. And again, yeah, if you choose to sell Casper, it's completely up to you, man. I'm glad that you are making your wealth in crypto. That's how I want to put it down. Last chance is my daily mantra to myself. I hear it, man. Chris is missing. Yeah, honestly. Because Chris was giving super signals on Space Mesh on 4USD. That's crazy. Actually crazy. Welcome back, Dimitar, bro. You're doing very, very well. Huge dump. He is just stupid. I mean, again, each to their own. I'm not here to spread FUD about any content creators. There's only one that I actively depict that I don't like, and that's BitBoy. But, you know, he's had lawsuits against him, so I think that's justified. But otherwise, I try to stay very placid and away from the drama, so I won't get into too much about that. Casper's not a project, it's a sovereign, less trustless, decentralized peer-to-peer currency. I mean, yeah, it's a movement. I think the negative community comes from the fear of opportunity cost, which makes people view things in a short-term basis. Yeah, people always view crypto as a short-term basis, but again, as I showcased in my last live stream, I showed an institutional document from Signum. Their monthly research papers at institutions with actually no, it wasn't them. So it wasn't them. Dr. Martin Hyperwick posted something about crypto VCs, where crypto VCs now, when they're investing altcoins, they're now looking at, instead of it being a 2 to 3 year thing, it's now going to be a 6 or 7 year thing. So actually, the short term base of the crypto is now changing and maturing to long term now. Broke on base, yeah, Nate Hart been a big shitter of that recently, and it's done well for him. So big up to you, brother. $2 a cycle, maybe it will do. Make Pompolinski on Kaspa ex owner. I mean, that would be crazy. That would be crazy. He is I love his posts sometimes. Very blunt, but also very to the point, and also very moon boy at times. All of Chris calls except Kaspa and Tao went to 0. Oh, that's not great to hear. That's not great to hear. But sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss. You know, I've had my misses here and there in my community. For the most part, most of them have been hits, or at least when I called them. You know, when I was doing the meme coin trading, when there was, you know, the meme bubble was still there. I did have some misses, of course. And some of them did go straight to 0, but some of them, you know, did 2x's. I took profits, or we took profits, I should say. We took profits, and then when it did collapse, we already made profits, so it didn't really matter. No, Apex and Solana are no way, shape, or form better than Kaspa. No arguments there. Well, there you go again. So if they can do that from August in 3 months to reaching 15x in value, then why can't Kaspa do that in a similar time frame? We're just very early still. Anyone follows Crypto Archie? On occasion I do. You know, I do sometimes watch his videos on Sue, see what he's saying about it, but the problem is sometimes the content is very much just TA based. If I see a content creator, and it's no disrespect to them, and it's just TA based, I tend to normally just kind of strafe away from it. The only one I watch TA based is Plan K, because Plan K's TA is unmatched. But otherwise I don't tend to watch too heavily on TA stuff, because I want some actual fundamentals with it as well. But I mean, I don't think Archie's a terrible YouTuber. I don't watch him too religiously. I've watched him a few times, and I do think he's not a bad YouTuber. Some people have different opinions. That's perfectly fine. Each to their own. I have enjoyed his content, so I hope he keeps, you know, making his gains, really. Provided he's not screwing people over. If he's screwing people over, then, again, different comment entirely. I don't know about that, though. I like it to Chris, but yeah, Space Mesh was a bad call. I mean, again, everyone had their bad calls here and there. That's how you come back through it, though. Best channel is here. I'm waiting every day to watch it. I appreciate very much the Matar, my man. Thank you very much for the support. And yeah, we're going to be here again tomorrow as well. That being said, have a great day, people. If you like the stream, or if you enjoy the content, as always, leave a like, share with your friends, subscribe for more. We're seeing market corrections right now, but it's just short-term noise. Like, we'll see a reversal very soon. Crypto is still very much here to stay, and Kaspa. Getting some full articles here, but the main talking point is that we're going to be seeing smart contracts coming out on the testnet in the next 2 days, so stay tuned for that. If you want to find out more, check out the free community, the VIP groups here as well. Have a great day, good evening, and good night, my people and family, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care now.